There is a long-standing question in life, in general, which is, how are we going to lead our life in different kinds of situations, in the marketplace, in personal relationships, in political life, and so on and so forth? The answer to that question is, you start from what's immediately known to you. For instance, you meet a woman, or either a man and woman meet for personal reasons, or for business reasons, or for political reasons, or for some other reason. When they meet, the first 0.2 seconds, milliseconds, you can Google, see how the brain works in relation to between men and women, for instance. In 0.2 seconds, the brain releases chemistry. There's connections, chemical connections. No, 0.2 seconds, milliseconds between, for instance, the first sight love. There's articles that you can find in Google. Now, and or there are also many other available evidence to suggest that the first milliseconds there's already thoughts and emotions that are present. Now, we use those as our starting point because, after all, the starting points they have been a subject to a prolonged discussion in various kinds of fields of knowledge. Where shall we start with a point that we are sure of and then proceed to different kinds of conclusions? Now, thoughts and emotions, according to Myers-Briggs Personality Instrument assessment, are of decisive nature. So they'll tell you it's either this or that. So you have, in the first 0.2 seconds, a hypothesis to confirm or disconfirm. Now, the second stage is the information gathering. Okay, you gather information. There are different preferences according to Myers-Briggs views and evidence that she presented in her books. Some people prefer intuition, to focus on abstract, the psyche of the person, and so on and so forth. Others prefer the details. Whichever way people gather information to confirm or disconfirm their first impression, or their first hypothesis, or their first thoughts or emotions. Now, if you proceed along that direction, it's a very fast, very quick process. Then you will draw all kinds of conclusions. Some people do not like to talk about that, then you move on. And so on and so forth. Some people like to talk about it, but find it really difficult, so on and so forth. Thoughts and emotions provide hypotheses to be subjected to all kinds. So information gathered will either support one hypothesis or another. And then that information is going to be subjected to some sort of examinations, you see. And that kinds of examination that kind of data would either favor one hypothesis or another. So the hypothesis that's favored by most available evidence is the one that's going to be the working hypothesis until another one comes up with greater evidence, and so on and so forth. That's how science progresses to some extent. Of course, there's a paradigmatic shifts and so on and so forth. Thomas Kuhn talks about in his book the structure of the scientific revolution. But that, in our judgment, is the best way to proceed. You start from what's immediately known, and then proceed to provide evidence to support an argument, logical arguments, to support one hypothesis or another, or emotional hypothesis too. whatever you think favors a particular hypothesis or another are discussed, and conclusions therefore are drawn, and so on and so forth. So that's the ideal process, and you approximate as much as you can, and that's how you make decisions. That's how you lead your life in these different realms of existence: marketplace, relationships, political realms, and other realms that you find yourself. And that basically answers a whole aged question. Even in knowledge production and consumption, that's how you proceed. You start from what's immediately known and then proceed from there. You will definitely make developments.